Hello, my name is Desmond Chambers, and this is my final project, A Place for Movement and Growth. About this project is a combination of 36 different lots organized onto one site. The lots are 176 feet by 176 feet, and the whole site covers 25.6 acres. Through collaboration from the whole class, people were assigned to each lot location. This site is located in Galveston, Texas at the zip code 77554. Before we started working on our final projects, we did a couple different exercises and activities to figure out who we were and what architecture was for us. For me, um, who I am, I picked the word expeditious, and expeditious just means done with speed and efficiency. For who I wanted to be, I picked the word meticulous. Meticulous is showing attention to detail carefully and precisely. We first started off with 2D configurations. We were tasked with making figure grounds. These were used to help define the boundaries of our future building's water and softscape. My final iteration was a combination of my first and second figure grounds. I combined the dock plan of the second figure, as well as the hierarchical nature and the symmetry of the first iteration. And I ended up with my final prototype. This combination reflects me because the hierarchy shows my strive to be mindful and meticulous, and the symmetry adds the creative side to making everything look better. After we did the figure ground, we worked on the volume study. This was the start of designing rooms and outlining the height of each section of the building. It was also a precursor to my final model, and it was able to give me a better idea of the scale at which we were working. My final design ended up deviating slightly from my volumetric study. Next was the form study. I used these models to plan out the basic forms and structure that my building would be made out of. After thinking long and hard about the purpose that I could give this design to reflect on me, I decided to make it a training facility. I've been in sports since I was young, and once I got to high school, I got to the point where I spent a lot of time in gyms, indoor turf fields, and wrestling rooms. I wanted to design somewhere where all types of athletes could work on any facet of their sport. To me, it was important that my design had open, calming, and welcoming feel. I wanted to design a sanctuary for growth. I spent a lot of time tweaking my floor plan to use my space most effectively. The use of hierarchy makes it clear what areas for the residents and where the facility would lie. And the symmetry made it so everything was quickly accessible. This is the site plan. We were connected physically and conceptually through different traits. For example, I have physical connections with my northern and southern neighbors through paths on my complex. And I'm connected to the two open spaces through land. Conceptually, my western neighbor is connected to me because he designed a complex that also has to do with sports. Although we are not connected physically other than water. The elevations and sections show the water depth and the height of the building to scale. The buildings have no changes in elevation. And these are my sections, also just to scale, sliced in the middle of the building instead of just pictures from outside the building of the elevations. Here I have my roof plan and the exploded view of my building to give context to my design and to show you the pathways, gateways I have, all my entry and exit points, my walkways, my building foundation, the roof, what makes up my roof, and everything pertaining to that. These were the first part of my rendering process. I went into SketchUp and kind of just picked the textures that I thought looked the best for what I was going for. These are the first products that I had. I ended up going back over them because I wanted to make everything look better. These are just some more pictures of that. These are my final renders. I made these to portray calmness and the tone that I wanted both my facade and my interiors to show. In order to do that, I used primarily dark tones, woods, browns, and oranges. The gym building that also holds my bathrooms and dining area has the most volumetric changes because I wanted to make sure that each space that needed to be intimate was able to properly be intimate. While spaces like the living room in the residence or the actual gym in that building are open and have their ceilings high still. The turf room is especially open to make sure there's room for all types of training and practice and whatever else any athlete needs. And here you can see the transition into my main entrance, the way I mainly want people to be entering my complex. Um, if you look up, you can see the metal bars that I put there to further play on the symmetry and hierarchy that I designed the whole structure based off of. This is the view of the northern entrance. Um, you can see the gym through here and also the porch and just how all the buildings come together. And this is also another view of the porch and my residence mainly. This is the dock of the residence. I enjoy fishing as well in my free time, and so I included it in my final just to add another touch of me and how this represents me. Thanks so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you have a great day.